So today I'll be doing a video discussing why Fairy Tail may be getting canceled, and this might actually be the final series of the Fairy Tail anime. Now yes, the title does not lie. Hiro Mashima may be ending Fairy Tail before we even know it, and I had to do a video discussing the possibility of the Fairy Tail anime getting canceled because Fairy Tail is one of my favorite series ever, and if it does go out like that, boy oh boy, I am going to be so sad. But in case you guys did not know, the Fairy Tail final anime season is on its last leg. Yes, we know that episode 45 is going to be coming out very soon. It's going to be coming out this weekend. A lot of hype stuff, Anna, Actologia, yes, anime onlys. You guys are finally starting to see the end of Fairy Tail, and I hope you guys are enjoying it as much as the manga readers did, because the ending of Fairy Tail is very controversial, and I can't wait to see the community reaction to that. But we know that there's only 51 episodes of the final episode that's going to be made. So that is 6 more episodes left in the series. Yes, 6 more episodes of Fairy Tail are left. And if we're doing the math, that's around 2-3 more months of Fairy Tail, not counting if they have any like weekly breaks or anything. But that means that we could be done with Fairy Tail by time November comes, maybe mid to late October. And then after that, there will be no more Fairy Tail anime. That's crazy to think, because there's been so much news and so much hype about this Fairy Tail anime and how it's been running so good, and now it feels like that the Fairy Tail anime literally just started like yesterday. Now it's finally coming to an end, and that is crazy to think, and that led a lot of people to think, will this be the final season of Fairy Tail? Well, obviously we do see in the title that it's called final season, but if you do read the manga, you would know that it is nowhere near the final season because it's still ongoing. But there has been some issues that can actually lead to Fairy Tail being canceled, the anime being canceled. And we know that after this season of Fairy Tail, there are no confirmed dates for an anime to return. And that is shocking, because even when Fairy Tail 2014 was over, the Fairy Tail series before this, the anime series, they still kept on leaking and kept hyping us up towards a new anime. Whereas this one, it kind of just says that it's going to be, like the name is in the title itself, the final season. It's self-explanatory. But no, in all seriousness, after this, there hasn't been any confirmed dates for a new movie or anything, but that doesn't mean that there can't happen. The only thing that makes me think about this is because they already put out the news that they finished the Fairy Tail anime prior to it actually being completed. Like, they released that they've been had the episodes done. So it makes me start thinking, if they release news about the Fairy Tail anime being over, would they still release news about a new Fairy Tail anime being in the works? And then the fact that they didn't do that is a bad sign, because we know that the Fairy Tail 100-Year Quest manga, while it is kind of hinted, and I'm not gonna say kind of, but the fandom, we assume that it's going to be animated, the manga might not have enough content to make a new anime. Yes, that is the elephant in the room, because we all want Fairy Tail to be reanimated and all that stuff, but let's be honest here. Right now, Fairy Tail 100-Year Quest, I don't want to say it just started, but it's kind of like in the early stages, and we know how Hiro Mashima takes the anime production serious when it comes to Fairy Tail. So the fact that the 100-Year Quest manga doesn't have enough content, that might be a huge reason on why we may not even get a new Fairy Tail anime. And speaking of the new Fairy Tail anime, like I said, the 100-Year Quest would be the next series, and we actually found out that the voice actors for Natsu and Lucy, they want more Fairy Tail, and I'm talking about both of them, the Japanese and the English one. Obviously, you guys seen my other video when I was talking about how Todd Habercorn was basically advocating for 300 new Fairy Tail episodes and a Natsu spinoff. Like, he basically wanted everything. But we know that Lucy's Japanese voice actor, she's the one that actually hinted at Fairy Tail 100-Year Quest being animated, because once like I said, they've already confirmed that they're done recording and producing all the stuff for the final series. So her and the voice actor of Natsu, they came out and gave a little mini interview, and the voice actor of Natsu, he was saying how great it was to be him, but Lucy's voice actor was saying how she was going to miss Fairy Tail, but since there is Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest, there's a chance that she can play Lucy again. And those come straight from the voice actor's mouth herself. Like, I'm not putting any words in her mouth or nothing. So the fact that she's confident about playing Lucy again goes to show you that the 100 Year Quest anime, while it may not have been confirmed, it may have been leaked to us, but at the same time, we see all the other voice actors, they are basically getting sad that there's going to be no more Fairy Tail, and that's a huge thing, because if there's anybody who would have insight on a new anime, it would be the voice actors. So the fact that they basically seem all bummed out that Fairy Tail is over, that's kind of not of a good sign, because like I said, if they were willing to go ahead and pre-record and pre-produce all the Fairy Tail final season episodes, who's not to say they want to do that for 100 Year Quest? And like I said, the 100 Year Quest, there has not been enough content. Right now there's only 31 chapters, and like I said, the biggest thing about the Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest, the biggest issue is it's bi-weekly. And if you guys don't know what that means, it means it comes out every 2 weeks. Yes, instead of Fairy Tail or any other like regular ongoing weekly shonen coming out every week, Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest comes out bi-weekly. Sometimes they do have extra chapter or extra pages, whereas sometimes it'll just be a regular chapter length, like 20 pages or so. So that is one thing that we do have to be on a huge lookout for, because the fact that it's bi-weekly and we're only 30 chapters in, and they still do take like the regular breaks and stuff for the other shonen magazines, that can also halt the Fairy Tail anime, because we already know the 2014 anime, it ended before because of pacing / production issues. It even got to a point where Hiro Mashima himself, he came out and said that he wasn't pleased with how the 2014 anime was going, and that is huge news, because Hiro Mashima, usually he does support the anime, or he supports anything Fairy Tail related. So the fact that he actually did express how he didn't like what the Fairy Tail anime was doing goes to show you that he really didn't like how the 2014 anime was being handled. And I don't blame him, because if you guys were watching the 2014 anime weekly, the fillers were terrible. Yes, after they stopped animating all the content, all the canon content, the fillers were not good to sit through, and the animation quality started dropping and everything. So I could understand why Hiro Mashima didn't like the 2014 anime, and the biggest thing that Hiro Mashima regretted, fillers. Yes, Hiro Mashima hates having fillers in his anime just because he doesn't like diluting the story or anything, and that's one thing that I can't see happening with the final season of Fairy Tail. I don't think they're going to add filler in it at all, or at least try to prolong it, because this is the final season of Fairy Tail, and Hiro Mashima is going to want everything to go his way. So I definitely don't think that there will be Fairy Tail fillers. And while that is a good thing, because Fairy Tail fillers are bad, it's also a bad thing because that means that there's no like prolonging for a new series, if you know what I mean. And I definitely do believe that we need at least 100 chapters before we get a new Fairy Tail anime. And do you guys know how long that would take to get to 100 chapters? Listen, I'm no mathematician, but let's just say that we're going to have to wait a pretty long time for Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest to reach 100 chapters. And I know you guys must be thinking, okay, Underrated Mage, if you're saying Fairy Tail is going to be canceled, does this mean that Fairy Tail Next Generation is out the window as well? Possibly. And the reason why I'm saying possibly is because Fairy Tail Next Generation, it's in this weird little loop. Like, it's been confirmed, but it hasn't been confirmed at the same time. Because if you guys don't know, Hiro Mashima at a Comic-Con, he said that if the supporters, if the fans actually requested enough, he'll do a Fairy Tail Next Generation. So that sounds all good and dandy, but that goes to show you that Hiro Mashima himself, he's not necessarily looking forward to having to, he's not basically looking ahead at a Fairy Tail Next Generation. He'll only do it if the fans want it, and obviously all the fans, we do want a Fairy Tail Next Generation, so it might end up being done. But that just goes to show you that even though Hiro Mashima did quote-unquote confirm it, it hasn't been a signed, inked deal, anything yet. And I know some of you guys must be thinking, well, what about the Nashi and Storm drawings that he leaked? Does this mean that there's still a Next Generation? And sadly, that does not confirm a Next Generation. And I know some of you guys must be thinking, whoa, Underrated Mage, what do you mean? Hiro Mashima on Twitter, he always does release like little artworks, and some of them are canon, some of them are not, and I do believe that this one, I'm not going to say that it's not canon, but I'm not saying that this is a confirmation of a next generation. I believe Hiro Mashima, he did this because of a fan request, and also because Nashi dragged Neo. She had basically became super, like, she literally became like a character of her own, and Hiro Mashima was pretty much forced to do it along with Storm Fullbuster. But like I said, Hiro Mashima, he could end next generation if he doesn't get the support that he wants. And we know that he's also working on Eden Zero, his new manga that he's been doing, which I actually do enjoy reading. And if you guys didn't know, he's actually in charge of doing a Dragon Quest manga too. Yes, Hiro Mashima, he is in charge of writing the Dragon Quest manga, so that can also hold up his time. But I do believe that Fairy Tail, it could get canceled if the ratings for the final season of Fairy Tail of the anime does bad, and if the 100 request ratings do bad, because Hiro Mashima right now, he's at a point where he's just looking for the support. And if the numbers start dropping, if Fairy Tail starts dropping in popularity, which it might just happen, I don't know, I don't really know like the projected popularity scale of Fairy Tail, but who knows, if this final season, once it's over, it can either bring in a whole new wave of anime fans, of Fairy Tail anime fans, or it might just end off the series. So I do believe that it all depends on the ratings and all the feedback that Hiro Mashima gets, and that will decide if Fairy Tail 100 requests and if Fairy Tail Next Generation gets canceled. Comment what you guys think down below. Subscribe if you haven't. Peace out.